Hi, my name is Phil. I like talking about politics. In this video, I'd like to discuss another article from a hard Brexit paper, The Express this time, on their claims that far from increasing quotas, British fishermen have actually faced lower quotas as a result of the Brexit that they argued for. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, the sort of article that trashes Brexit, but predictably tries to trash only the form of Brexit we ended up with. It was clear from the start that although the government would aim to hide as many of the consequences of Brexit as possible, when those consequences are job losses, you can't actually hide them completely. So it was entirely predictable that Brexiteers would say that the problem wasn't Brexit. They would switch from Brexit has no downsides to, oh yeah, Brexit downsides. But that's just down to the particular form of Brexit we emerged with. I mean, it was all wrong. Even though the Prime Minister did exactly what we said he should, he just didn't quite get it right. And so it is that the Daily Express, the paper that supported Boris Johnson on both Brexit and his pandemic mishandling last year, is now blaming Johnson's deal for the problems. Only, of course, they don't actually say what sort of deal would be better. The article does what all good liars do. It uses a set of facts and then draws a completely spurious conclusion. You know, when I saw the headline about smaller quotas, I thought it might have meant the reality of fishing post-Brexit now. Like, when it comes to the fishing industry, we know that some fishermen are completely knackered because they simply cannot export their catch anymore. There are also some British fishermen who sell in the UK, but will also be experiencing a bit of a depression at the moment due to the pandemic restrictions. Like, if your catch is normally destined for restaurants, then of course you'd experience a fall in demand. It's actually got nothing to do with Brexit, and you'd expect that to go up once the government have, removed their controls over the coronavirus, in a few years or so. Obviously, they're being removed at the moment. They'll be back again in autumn, all the rest of it. But there's a lot of fishermen whose catches need to be sold in the EU, most in fact, because we only buy a little bit of ourselves, and the catch may be lawfully traded with the EU. The vast majority of fishermen can absolutely trade their fish with the EU as long as the paperwork is completed. Naturally, all this extra paperwork means delays, both in the time to complete the paperwork and checking by customs officials. And I happen to know that some fleets were told in January to actually catch less. You've got your quota, fine, don't actually catch that, because the delays mean that we can't get all of your catch to market before it's spoiled anyway. So I thought they might have meant this, and in which case you could try and argue that there's something wrong with the deal. But no, The Express was interviewing a Chloe North, who represented a fishing organisation. She was explaining that previously they could do deals with other fishing companies to get extra quotas in the areas where they were fishing. The article made clear that the EU's common fisheries policy, they named it, allowed her and her colleagues to do this. This is remarkable, I thought. The Daily Express, the hardest of all hard Brexit papers, is now saying how good the EU's common fisheries policy actually was, and how flexible as well. But no, it went straight from explaining how good the system was in the EU and how bad it's been since Brexit to this is the fault of Boris Johnson's Brexit deal. Now here's the thing, I sort of get how deceptions work. You start off by saying something that is an objective fact, or at least is a widely accepted perception. You maybe add another. So you get people going, yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, that's true as well. Then you steer people away from the truth by throwing something in there that isn't true, but it is believable. A little grey area. And you slowly bring people around to the completely incorrect conclusions. But this article was something else, and says a great deal about Express readers, I have to say. The article is not long. Of course it's not. The readers have no attention spans. It sets out what a good system the EU's common fishery policies is. That's clear. It then says that since Brexit, British fishermen now have less quota. And it also makes clear that this is because we are no longer using the common fisheries policy. It doesn't link it to any spurious Brexit deal things, it actually links it directly to that policy. It further reported on the benefits of EU membership by pointing out that this system allowed fleets to save on fuel and reduce waste. It was environmentally better as well as economically better for the fishermen. And then it jumped straight to Brexit is great, we just got the wrong deal. It's like getting to the top of the Empire State Building, looking out over the New York skyline and seeing the Eiffel Tower. How the bloody hell did we get here? Because all of those benefits listed from the previous system were not possible with the sort of Brexit deal that the Express called for. The article is really clear that the EU system is flexible because companies can effectively trade quotas amongst each other. That is physically impossible with an independent fisheries policy. I mean, what sort of deal did the Express think we could replicate that? You either have a deal where the UK controls its quotas or you don't. If you do, then the system we had is impossible because it means trading quotas with fleets of other countries means bypassing the government altogether. Well, that's not how an independent fisheries policy works. I also had to laugh when it quoted her, because it just basically quoted her. There was very little they added to the article. It quoted her as saying, fish move, so what quotas you have are not necessarily what fish will be on your doorstep next year. In other words, to make use of the quotas now, they've got to go far and wide. They've got to find the bloody fish they've got the quotas for. I mean, you what? I thought we had British fish and the EU had European fish. That's what the Express kept telling us. This was a truly bizarre article. Word for word, her quotes would have looked completely at home in an anti-Brexit article calling for a return to the EU or at the very least the single market. And it all looked equally out of place in an article in a newspaper that is trying to convince us that Brexit is fine in concept, we just got the implementation wrong. Quite apart from the trading of quotas, the bottom line with fishing has always been this. 1. Any nation grows its economy by selling abroad. If you want to make money, you sell. Selling to yourself doesn't help that. So like the brainless Brexiteer comments like from the likes of John Redwood saying, well, we should just buy more of our own fish. They don't actually help. That's selling to ourselves. The second thing is we do sell most of our fishing catch abroad. That's a useful thing because of point 1, but it's also a challenging thing because of the Brexit trade barriers. The best way of thinking about it is to think of the two extremes of Brexit and what it would mean for fishing. So one extreme, put forward by the Express, I have to say, is a no-deal Brexit, which is still possible because the EU have not ratified their deal yet, and with our current behaviour, they're not looking like they're going to. I'm not saying that's for the permanent thing, but at the moment, they're not in a position where they want to vote through the deal because of the way we're behaving. Now, in this scenario, no-deal Brexit, we could claim 100% of the quotas and let British fishermen fill their boots. We don't have anywhere near enough fishermen in the country to cope with this, so that it would basically be saying to them, catch what you like. Unlimited catch, no problems. Nice one. So basically there are no quotas, it's go out and do what you want. But they won't actually be able to sell that catch? Because naturally such an outcome is not in the interests of the EU. So the EU would raise prohibitively expensive trade barriers to those fishermen. I mean, tariffs and paperwork would be in place just, as World Trade Organization rules. But the EU could add even more difficulty than that. So this extreme represents being able to catch what you want, completely catch what you want. Oh, you need to buy more fishing vessels to do it and hire more fishermen? Fine, you do that. There aren't any more British fishermen, you have to get them from abroad, but never mind. But you can't actually sell very much of it. You can sell almost none of it, in fact. Bear in mind that our weak deal meant that the seafood industry's trade was down 83% by value in January. That's with the weak deal. Imagine what a no deal would have done. So then we go to the other extreme, remaining in the single market. In this case, the quotas are decided collectively and includes British fishermen being allowed quotas in EU waters as well. Fishing companies can trade quotas with one another for their mutual benefit, as they had done, as well as for environmental benefit. British vessels can then sell their catch in the EU quickly without much paperwork. There is still paperwork, but it's paperwork that can be done quickly, and some of it can be done after it's landed anyway, and with no danger of tariffs. Actually, this isn't really sounding like an extreme at all, is it? But that is the other extreme. So what you basically want to decide on is where on the sliding scale between those two extremes do you want to be? At one end is risk your lives to catch what you want but sell none of it. The other is catch what you did before and have no barriers to selling it at all. So you're limited to what you can catch, but you can sell all of what you catch. Choose your compromise, basically. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.